Hey, Shalom, Akim Shalom. First thing and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders of the great millstone. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. News in this gospel abroad, lifting up the standard of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is the Aki of Mahalaya coming back with another quick lesson through the Spirit. This is kind of like I want to say, it's somewhat of a piggyback off the beloved bro, Amwan Gabar from the main camp. He was going into don't believe these people, this thing is getting ready to go down because you have this Illinois no cash bail law that's being propagated in Illinois starting January 1st 2023. We've been speaking on this quite a bit. I've done a lesson. I think I may have done a lesson or two on it. Went into sporadic details about it, and we brought out it briefly at the camp, but this is something that really we should be rejoicing at, because this is actually prophecy being fulfilled. Now, Esau Edom is telling you itself, and the cat is out the bag, and there's no denying it. But at the same time, man, looking into this thing, you have to be very circumspect with it too, because this is not the only state that they're doing this in. Okay, we've speculated that California may be the first on the books to actually see what they would call a purge. Okay, now when you look up the definition of a purge, right? We're gonna look it up here. And it goes into to rid or to cleanse. Okay, to rend someone or something of an unwanted quality or condition or feeling. Now, when you look at the Purge movies, mainly the one that came in before last, man, he stated, one of the CEOs in NFFA, which is basically the National Security Agency, or NASA, not NASA, but the National Security Agency, which is basically another form of the FBI or the CIA. Okay, what happened was that he was like, this country can't afford to feed its own citizens anymore, so basically we have to justify a purge, and it started with you Jakes. Okay, so that term purge has been thrown out there very loosely, but it actually have an in-depth meaning to it, as we just read and we can go into, because the Most High is orchestrating a global collapse. Okay, not just of the Western hemisphere, but this is going to be a global collapse, because once the Western hegemony collapse, then all the other nations can plunder. Okay, and I believe this personally through the Spirit, and I speak as a man, but I believe that this is one of the driving forces that can start World War III. Okay, because of economic woes. Okay, so it says Illinois' no cash bail law will turn the state into the purge. Now, this is the New York Post. Okay, this is supposed to be I guess you can call it a credible source, but anything that Esau Edom brings out, you have to take the meat and spit out the bones with it. Okay, because this devil, he throws truth and fact in things, but he also tells a lie. Okay, like with the whole thing, with the Chicago aspect of this so-called purge, or this purge, as you want to call it, because we're not expecting any type of purge to kick off January 1st, 2023, but it's going to lead up into a gradual increase of crime. Okay, because people are going to fall for this okie doke, because Esau wants to persecute or prosecute people, and he wants to be justified on doing away with the police force so he can send the military in there. So he's basically giving you people what it appears to be a license to commit crimes, but really it's not. Okay, you're going to fall right for the okie doke, and you're going to plunge your cities into darkness, but this is prophecy, man. Okay, so it says in the Purge movie series, one night a year is set aside for Americans to commit any crime they want, including murder without repercussions. And also in that, what you have to understand, and it proved that this is based on hierarchy, is because in the Purge movies, they're only able to beat up citizens, kill other citizens. You can't attack law enforcement officials. You can't attack firefighters. You can't attack government officials. You know what I'm saying? Those people are exempt from the purge. And their reasoning is because if you kill all the law enforcement, then we won't be able to restore order into society. Okay? Which a lot of times the government is the cause for chaos and disorder among society, because the government created the purge according to the movies. Okay? It says it is an opportunity to both let off steam and cool the herd unjustly, as some can afford to defend their homes and families against such a rampage while others cannot. And you notice in these particular scenarios, Jake is always at the disadvantage, because Jake, for one thing, they don't have the means to the end to protect their families, nor their homes, nor their properties. Okay, they're the one that's understaffed. They're under-weaponized. Okay, they're under-organized. You know, and the list goes on. They have no unity, all right, and they have no guidance and no structure. Versus you got men out there that have billions of dollars that have wine cellars as apartments. You know, so you do the math on that and you do the comparative analysis, and you can see where Esau is at the advantage and Jake isn't. All right, it says the horror franchise is fictional, but of course, as no elected official in their right mind will ever enact such a law. At least that's what I believed, okay? Now, like we already said, order ab chaos, okay? Order out of chaos, or Hegelian dialectics, which means pressure from above, pressure from beneath, okay? Justifiably or unjustifiably raising interest rates, Fed hikes. What's another one? Inflation, okay? Because everything is going up, and I mean everything is going up, okay? Whether area you live in, you may have more price gouge in certain areas, but for the most part, everything is going up around the board. Like the dollar store around the house, it went from being a Dollar Tree, now it's $1.25 store. So you're paying 25 cents on the dollar, okay? And hey, I went to the store the other day to look for some ammonia and stuff like that to clean like the drains and stuff, and basically bleach was $5.20 a freaking gallon, man. Okay, usually even a good bleach, Clorox was like $2.76. Now Clorox is like $5 and like 20 or 30 something cent, man. So you see all these things they're using to justify the masses because they want people to bug out. They want people to revolt. Okay, this is the way that they can restore order back into society. Okay, and it says here, the unbelievable will soon happen in my home state of Illinois, okay? And I'm actually from Chicago, so I have firsthand account on how bad crime is out there in certain areas. What you will notice in Chicago, a lot of the crime is concentrated in the southeast area or in the southwest, mainly in the Inglewood area, man. You have what they call the back of the yards, which is basically your southeast area, your southwest area, where a lot of Issaquah gangs are at, and then right across Ashland, you have the black gangs there. You have the GDs, you got the BDs, you got the Blackstone, or the Moes as they call them. And Inglewood, you got nothing but GDs and BDs, New Breeds, which New Breeds is basically another form of faction against the disciple. Okay, but nonetheless, Esau has heavily concentrated the crime in Chicago in the Inglewood area, which was a beautiful area back in the 50s and 60s, man. Okay, I want to say in the late 80s to early 90s, the Inglewood is really went down because that's when the cocaine epidemic swept America, man. And a lot of people from the projects, they were on drugs, man, and they dispersed it out throughout the city. You had drug dealers set up in every faction of the city. Okay, even the west side of Chicago, as Beirut as that is, the west side of Chicago have nothing on the south side of Chicago. Okay, it's a lot of drug dealing on the west side, but crime is bad out there. I mean, yeah, you have bodies out there, but Esau highly concentrates the media on the Inglewood area and the Roseland area of Chicago, which is really the far south side of Chicago, man. Okay, which they call it the Roseland community or the Golden Gate community. All right, but those are where Esau sets his operatives at. Okay, because that's a area that he wants to purge of Jake, man. That's why they won't have programs out there. The resources are limited. And you go out there, it's poverty stricken. Though they trying to build certain things up, but you notice through them building things up, a lot of crime had to come before that, because that's a way of them gentrifying the area. You see, but it says at midnight, a very real version of the purge will be enacted via the 2021 Safety Act law. It says the Safety, Accountability, Fairness, and Equality Today Act will completely eliminate cash bails for the majority of defendants charged with criminal acts. It says judges will judge will decide whether or not to release defendants on a case-by-case basis, based on if they feel the person poses a threat to the community or is a flight risk. But come on, man, you let Jake out of jail over attempt murder, and you say, all right, he's not a flight risk. You know he's not going to make the trial date. If you get out of jail, let's say August 7th, 2023, for a second-degree murder, and the judge scheduled your trial to October 1st, 2024. You think Jake gonna make that trial? No, he's not, because 9 times out of 10, he's gonna commit another crime. He's gonna be dead, or he's gonna flee. Okay, so what they're doing, they're allowing the people to build up more iniquity, man. You see, and then when it gets so bad, hey, shit, that's when the martial law comes in. But we're gonna see how it's gonna all play out, because like I said, in all these states, they have some type of stand down order. Even in certain what the hell? Even in certain provinces out here in Missouri, the cops have they can't chase you. They gotta let you go. You know, even in Cali, they got a stand down order that if somebody's running in your store and stealing your merchandise, don't pursue them. Just let them go. You know. But it says here, based on if they feel a person poses a threat to the community or is a flight risk. It said, seeing as many Illinois judges rule like progressive activists, it's likely they will send many criminals back into the communities without hesitation, right? It says, but we're not talking about nonviolent crimes like, say, jumping a railway turnstile or even stealing food from a grocery store. It says this would be no bail or automatic detainment for second-degree murder, kidnapping, armed robbery, drug-induced homicide, aggravated DUI. It says hardened criminals charged with everything from threatening a public official to armed burglary to arson will be emboldened and empowered, right? So, hey, eventually throughout the summer months in Chicago, you could very well say it may be some type of civil war out there, man. Okay, and I'm just speaking as a man when I say that, but this is gonna be a countrywide thing, because those laws are gonna trickle into the big cities, and hey, if you are doing this in an aggressive city like Chicago, imagine a less aggressive city like Kansas City, okay? Let's say St. Louis is aggressive anyway, but let's say Tampa Bay, Florida, you know, Miami has a pretty high crime rate, but Orlando, they do too, but those are lesser cities that's documented for their crime. Unlike a high profile city like Chicago, because the Illuminati have always been heavily concentrated there. Okay, it was what we call Chicago Gotham City. But it says, to make matters worse, offenders released on electronic monitoring devices must be in violation of their parole for 48 hours before it would be considered a crime. It says, in state's largest county, Cook County, which is the city Chicago resides in, which it passes Chicago at any given time, there are more than 3,000 people wearing ankle monitors, and it's included hundreds who have been charged with murder. So people are out on bond for murder, man. Okay, so this thing is a big powder keg ready to implode. Okay, because if you look up Cook County Jail, I believe that's like one of the largest county jails in the United States of America. I believe at a point in time, they housed 25,000 inmates. Because to be technically honest, Cook County was basically literally a prison, you know, back during the time of Al Capone and stuff like that, man. That was really a state's prison at the time, you know, but they turned it into a county jail. But a lot of times people serve their time out in Cook County, you know, and it's some catacombs type ordeal, man. You know, and I'll leave it at that. It's pretty graphic. But anyway, let's get a couple of precepts. I've been kind of ran without precepts. So this is the book of 1 Thessalonians 5:1. It says, but of the times and seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. It says, for you yourselves know perfectly that the day of Yahushua so cometh as a thief in the night. Okay, and it's going to come upon these people unawares, because they're not looking forward to the signs. Okay, while people are on TikTok and Instagram and going out their daily endeavors, these laws are being passed right in front of their face. But see, this one has special attention in the media, because this is the one Esau sheds the light on. But even then, people are not getting in the mindset of, okay, let's get spiritually prepared to get right with our Creator. Instead, people are taking it on themselves to find ways to engage in this, man. Because that Purge series have started a fan base, man. Like if you look at the Forever Purge, after the initial Purge ended, the Forever Purge kicked off based on a social media tweet, Twitter. And with these cross platforms, people are uploading posters on Facebook, and they can send it to Twitter or IG or whatever you want to call it. And then before you know it, you have millions of people. And then you got a couple of thousand people with like mind, and then a couple of thousand people with their like mind, and so forth. Then, I mean, there you go. you have a shit show in your hand, man. Okay, so this thing is gonna spread like wildfire, man. You know, people running into your spots, man. It's gonna be a lot of that. You know, you got the Kia boys out here, you know, stealing Kias. For all you Keishas out there, see, the Kia is the black woman's Cadillac, man. Okay, a chick get which a Kia is a cheap car anyway. But if you get a Kia, because you know they look pretty nice, but it's fairly cheap. You know, fairly cheap material. You know, but it's affordable. And most black women they get Kias because it's what they qualify for. But a lot of them been getting stolen. You know, flats, a freaking Toyo hot dog is through your car, and you end up plummeting on the side of the road, man. All right, but it says here, for when they shall say peace and safety, and sudden destruction shall come upon them, as travail upon woman with child, and they should not escape, man. Okay, so that's the point. Peace and safety, sudden destruction. And you got skeptics out there saying, man, that ain't gonna happen, man. Esau ain't. Man, look, man, the Chicago Police Department is the biggest corrupt gang in Chicago. All right, they control the gangs out there. So all this, well, we can't stop crime. That's all a farce, man. Because you have over 10,000 police officers, which a lot of them are resigning. But, you know, you got over 100,000 gangbangers. But see, even then, the police in Chicago is militarized, man. Okay? They put a lot of money in that department. So, trust me, they have military vehicles there. They just ain't bring them out on you boys yet. But it says here, and it says, peace and safety and sudden destruction coming upon them as travail upon woman with child, and they should not escape, okay? So you're not going to escape the judgment of the Heavenly Father, all right? Because like I said, man, a lot of people are getting ready to be straight up massacred over a course of time, you know, and believe it or not, man, them little gremlins out there, this is like Christmas to them. Oh, we can purge. Oh, man, we can go rob people. Because you got gremlins out there, misfits out there, like the scriptures goes into rebellious sons that just look forward to stuff like this. Just look forward to causing a nuisance, man. They're like gnats that don't go away, man. You know, and that's the mindset of our people. And it says here, but ye brethren are not of darkness, that the day shall overtake you as a thief, right? And that's the reason why we're going into these things, because, hey, we understand the concept. We understand what can happen here, and we know what will happen eventually. And not just Chicago, okay? This is going to be all over the country, okay? And we speculated once again that L.A. really can be the start of everything, because L.A. is pretty much lawless right now. Okay, you have something what they call the great migration, or the great exodus, man. People are leaving LA in droves because, for one thing, it's not affordable no more. Second of all, the crime is at an all-time high. Like this guy, PNB Rock, just literally got smoked last week because his, I believe his girlfriend tweeted his location at Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. Like, how many incidents have happened there? And then to show you how they have no regard over you, Jakes, they basically opened the store, I believe, a couple of hours or so after them getting put to death, man. And we made the example at the camp. How when that movie theater got shut up, it was closed down for a month. But when Jake got put to death at a notable chicken and waffle spot, then, hey, the shit was open like within an hour. Cleaned the blood up next. Which, you know, we speculate that was a blood ritual because all these rappers that have signed with Epic have been dead or in some type of harm, you know. But, you know, this is what happens when you wicked Jake sell your soul to the or to these elites, man. You know, they take out an insurance policy on you and they make more money off you dead than alive. Okay. Another precept here. What the hell? Yep. So let's go to here to the book of Habakkuk. Yep, brother. So yeah, man, keep your eyes on the swivel, a spiritual swivel, man. Pay attention to the signs. You know, watch the videos, meditate, pray, do what we gotta do, man. You know, don't get complacent and lackadaisical because it can happen. You know, you get thrown out of the spirit for 1 second and that can be a detriment to you and your salvation. So always keep your head on a spiritual swivel, as I like to say. But this is the book of Habakkuk 2:1. It says, and I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower and will watch to see what he was saying to me and what I should answer when I am reproved. Okay, when you stand upon a watchtower, that means you're watching. Okay, like you got locomotive signals. You have, like when you're flying a plane, you got watchmen or towermen that basically give you the signal on when to dock the plane or when to land a plane. And that's a very, very important job because if you give a false signal, you can
destroy the lives of thousands of people. Okay, and this is the same with the prophets. If we're not warning our people, then as the Lord told Ezekiel, I will require that blood upon your hand. Okay, so hey, we got to be out there warning our people, whether they want to hear this thing or not. Okay, because hey, at least we get the blood off our hand, right? Because I rather you than me. Okay, I care about you enough to warn you, but I don't care about you enough to lose my life for the 2/3. I'd rather warn you and tell you gonna go before I get the judgment, and that's just real talk, you know. And it says, "And the Most High answered me and said, Write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. For yet the vision is yet for an appointed time, and we coming upon that time. But at the end it shall speak and not lie, though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry." And they putting it right in your face, man. Okay, they putting it right in your face, man, because it says billionaire Illinois Governor J.B. Pritt, which he's a demon. This man, he's a straight demon. But Jake put him in there though. But it says J.B. Pritzker signed a new law into effect February under the guise of criminal justice reform. What are you reforming? You know. But it says Chicago's ankle monitor program is the largest in the nation and is built as an alternative to incarceration. They make more money on the ankle monitor now because it's all the money making racket anyway. But more than 75% of those being electronically monitored face violent crime charges. And honestly speaking, Chicago has been a social experiment for decades. And that's all Chicago really is a social experiment, because they know that in order for the governors and the child support agencies and the state, which they call that stuff the darling of the court, you know, they get tax-free money off that. They know that if they create certain poverty-stricken neighborhoods, they know that people are gonna crime, and crime it pays. You know, like it was a song by Bone Thugs-n-Harmony, Crazy Bone had a lyric. He said, "Crime, yes, it pays." You know, and it does pays, because in the flip side, Esau is the one bringing in the revenue of locking your black ass up. You know, this is why they have these billions of dollars to build the bunkers at your labor wages, man. You know, at your expense. Then you get billed for it. But it says the new law give all these criminals a 48-hour pass, and means they will have the legal freedom to perhaps murder the witnesses of their crime, and the police cannot respond to the ankle monitor alert for 48 hours. It says I can hear those purge signs welling already. Okay, but it says law enforcement officials across the state are sounding the alarm. It says one mayor, Orland Parks, Keith Bacall, called the act dangerous and warned the communities and victims of crime will lose their unconstitutional rights. And these people know, man. So, hey, a lot of these governors, they're going to resign. They're going to go into hiding. And they're going to leave you people out there straight up to be defenseless, man, because these governors ain't worried about you people, man. Okay, they getting their money from you, and they going to go into hiding. They're not going to stick around and deal with this purge, man. That's for you people. All right? And the men of the Lord, they're going to get power, man. Okay, we're going to get that power real soon. I believe it, you know. Like, have you, Jakes, ever just got so frustrated with something to the point like your mind just kicked in and just made it work anyway? You know, I was dealing with that yesterday, man. I was putting something together and I didn't have the probable pieces, man. I'm like, you know what? Let me improvise. And I improvised and put some stuff together, and I did, damn, it worked. I'm like, why didn't I think about this 9 hours ago? I'm sitting here struggling with this thing for 6 hours, man. You know, looking stuff up on the internet, making calls and try to get the right piece for it. And then I was like, well, I have something here. Let me go ahead and finagle some stuff. And bam, it came out right, you know. And that's the Lord tapping into your mind. But see, a lot of times we don't really think because we're so overloaded with this information, with these electronic frequencies, man, with this, you know, this cell phone culture, okay, being on YouTube, man, you know, when really we should be winding down, you know, focusing, you know, because lately, man, just focusing, you just been jumping all over the place, you know. But power is coming to the men of the Lord, brothers, you know, and I believe that. And the Lord's will, I'm one of the men that the Lord used. Like, I pray to the Lord all the time. I say, look, if you just make me a battle axe, I'm cool. Okay. You know, that's my whole purpose to be in this truth, is to be a swinging instrument for you, man. Hey, I'm with that. And like my man said in house party, he said, oh, I'm with this shit. He said, oh, we gonna bust their ass and they gonna come running out the burning house. He said, burning house. You know, so hey, I'm with it. If the Lord with it, I'm with it. But anyway, it says and warned that the communities and victims of crime will lose their constitutional rights. But what rights? Ain't got no rights here. Okay, especially the common Negro. You ain't got no rights in this place. Esau shows you that all the time. Okay, these civil servants put the cuffs on you and beat you up, man. They work for you, but yet they putting you down. You know, several instances when you call the cops and they come and blow you away. That's why a lot of times, man, don't even call the cops. Like these peasy head Eves out here, they'll call the cops on their boyfriend, and then the cops come and smoke both of them, man. See, you getting calling the cops car, it don't work, you know. But it says a number of Illinois state attorneys wrote in the Chicago Tribune there have been spikes in crime since the passage of Safety Act and the upcoming abolition of cash bail would create a major safety issue. It says, but Governor J.B. Pritzker, who signed the bill into law last year, calls it criminal justice reform. It's the last place you need to be soft on criminals. Soft on criminals. That's the last place you will want. But it says here, soft on crime adherents claim it will reduce the number of people detained in jail while awaiting trial, as so many cannot afford to pay for and obtain a bail. But what will actually do is bring about nothing but justice for criminals instead of the hardworking residents to the state of Illinois, and it certainly brings no justice for victims. Okay, and that's it. I'm gonna read. I'm not gonna read all that. I've been reading enough. All right, but I got another precept here because this is gonna lead into some straight up chaos, man. In second Esdras, it goes into it. All right, because on top of that, we have economic downturn. You see, we have this CBDC digital currency that they're talking about enacting into law too, starting December 14th. We may see some type of different moves being made when it comes to this dollar. So when they're controlling the money out there in Chicago too, it's really gonna implode because honestly speaking, when they converge over to this new system, people gonna lose their money in the banks. And that's what they ain't gonna tell you. They say, well, you convert it over to these digital tokens or whatever you want to call it. But a lot of people gonna lose their money, okay? And that's gonna cause a lot of issues. Like, I believe it was this one country, I think it was like, I forgot, man. I forgot what country it was, but basically, chick had to rob the bank to get her money out. Like, she had to rob them to let them in her account. You know, there's been a lot of cases people have been sticking up banks just to get their money out their account. Okay, and that may go into something similar on the next lesson. Basically, what happened was that they're going to put a limit on how much money you can get out. Like, I think before it was $10,000 before it went up into audit, but now it's like $5,000. And I believe on every $500 to $600 transaction, they can tax you on it. So you don't control anything anymore, you know. But anyway, this is the book of Second Esdras 2, and I'm going to start at verses 22. It says, for many that dwell upon the earth perish of famine, and other that escape the hunger the sword shall destroy. And the dead should be cast out as dung, and there should be no man to comfort them, and the earth should be wasted, and the city should be casted down. And this is the start of that. Because once these things starts to go down in huge number, a lot of people are going to start migrating from Chicago. They're going to start going west. They're going to start going south. They start going east. A lot of people are moving, man. A lot of people are going to run to Florida. A lot of people are going to run to Texas, which everybody's running to Texas anyway. You know, the whole country can literally fit in Texas alone. Like, and that's real talk. People gonna start trying to run this way. It's gonna be, man, it's gonna be bad out there. Chicago's gonna be like a war zone. And it says here, there should no man be left to till the earth. Okay, and it says, and the trees should give fruit, and who should gather them? The grapes should ripen, and who should tread them? For all places should be desolate of men, so that one man should desire to see another and hear his voice. And for of a city there should be 10 left, and 2 of the field, which shall hide themselves in the thick groves and the clefts of the rocks, man, right? Because people are going to go into hiding. People are going to be on a run. This is basically like The Road, okay? The Road / I Am Legend / The Purge. All these things wrapped up in a big reality scenario. It says, is an orchard tree of olives upon every tree? There are left 2 or 3, 4 olives. Or as when a vineyard is gathered, there are left some clusters of them that diligently seek through the vineyard. Even in those days, there should be 2 or 3 or 4 by them that searches their houses with the sword, because they're going to go around getting goods. Okay, women, etc. Women, kids, food, whatever they may find a notable commodity in that day, they're going to take it and they're going to add it into themselves. So a lot of you women and kids, you're getting ready to be taken, man. Okay, a lot of you women out here and the Lord put you in a crazy up. He put you in a straight up what you call that shake mix, that poison that Jake used to fry their chicken and fish with. Hey, basically you a bag of shake and bake right now because he put you up in there, man. And he totally puffed you up and encapsulated your mind, man, to the point when all hell break loose, you women, you're not gonna have any protection. Okay, the men of this nation and just in general, the ones that you've done wrong, they're gonna allow you to feed. They're gonna feed you to the wolves, and a lot of you gonna turn up dead, and that's a fact. So a lot of you insta queens, a lot of you twerk queens out there, a lot of you that's been living high off this Babylonian sauce. Hey, you getting ready to reap that. You getting ready to redeem that whole 6-piece for mouth sauce. As they say in Chicago, you go to a place called Harold's Chicken. Get you a 6-piece salt and pepper, lemon pepper, mouth sauce, man. A lot of you getting ready to become a 6-piece dinner. I'm gonna leave it at that, because it's a lot of wickedness, man. You women have single-handedly destroyed our nation, okay? And I'm not saying the men does not have a big part in there because clearly they do, but you women, man, you are a big problem in the nation of Israel, and you have to be purged out. And that's what this is, man, okay? Like I was watching this scary movie last night, and it had a lot of truth in it. It was basically this talk show dude. He's kind of like Alex Jones, like this conspiracy dude. And he was like, well, back in the 50s, that's the reason why you had Ted Bundys and stuff, because they raised up serial killers because women aren't in the right order. And dude said that, He said, you know what they say behind every domestic violence case is a woman who just wouldn't shut a yap. He was in the spirit, man, because that's the truth. The Lord raised up serial killers because women are out of order. And the serial killers, a lot of times they target women, okay, because it's a judgment, But anyway, it says, and the earth shall be laid waste, and the fields thereof shall wax old, and her ways and all her paths shall grow full of thorns, because no man shall travel therethrough. All right, 33 says the virgins shall mourn, having no bridegrooms, and the women shall mourn, having no husbands, and their daughters shall mourn, having no husbands, because no helpers. Why? Because, hey, these men, they're going to be straight up drafted off the war, and the ones of them that don't get drafted off, they're going to be, like, mercilessly put to death in the streets. Okay, I'm talking about execution style. It's going to get bad out there, man, because basically what this is going to allow to happen, this is going to let all them gangbangers wipe each other out. Okay, they're going to wipe each other out until somebody say, you know what, this is a social experiment. We need to come together, because this is going to backfire on Esau too. Because you're going to have some woke individual out there that's going to know what it is, and hey, they're going to bring some type of truce to these gangs, man. And they're going to start going up against the opposition, okay? But when that threat is neutralized, then they're going to turn on each other. Because you know what they say, there's no honor among thieves. So if you band up and you all going out there on the prowl for food, nobody's going to take it upon a beck and call to split the food among themselves. They're going to fight for it. Reservoir Dogs, man. Versus, I was telling our brother this week, I'm like, look, man, in the case of we were all in one place when all hell broke loose, and we had 3 cans of peas. We're going to have to share it among each other. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we're going to have to do. Versus Jake, man, it'd be 3 Jakes in the crib, 3 cans of peas. They won't even think about that. They'll just literally, one nigga would try to take out everybody and take the other 2 cans. That's how Jake get down, man. No honor among thieves. But it says, hear ye now these things, and understand them, ye servants of the Lord. Behold the Lord, the word of the Lord, and receive it. Believe not of the gods whom the Lord spake, but behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack. As when a woman, and this is the point I wanted to make, as when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son, with 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains compass her womb, which pains when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment. So even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side, okay? Meaning the entire world is going to go into some type of chaotic state. It says, O my people, hear my word, make you ready to the battle, and in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth, okay? So I'm going to end it there, brothers, man, giving all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, and with that, Shalom and a Baba Ball.